Now, it's come to no surprise, folks, that Stefon Diggs is still without a job. And I'll tell you what, it sounds like that he might be joining an AFC East rival. And that just so happens to be the New England Patriots.
I'd say it's pretty funny, right? In fact, I would say it was pretty funny. I need to go on ahead and show you the specific report. And granted, it is not completely locked and loaded, if you will. However, we ended up seeing a report. Let me actually find one that is somewhat credible right here. Okay, so how about from Ari right over here, folks? It was indeed confirmed that Stefon Diggs, all right, and the Patriots are hosting the wide receiver for a free agent visit. And that was per Chad Graff. I could only imagine that this is a Patriots beat reporter or somebody that is within the organization by itself. And you know what? I feel like we owe New England Patriots fans a warning, right? One that Minnesota Vikings fans tried to give us when we ended up making a trade for him just about 5 years ago. Actually, recently, 5 years ago, on the 16th, as a matter of fact. And I kind of like it for the Patriots. I kind of don't. And to be completely honest with you, because yes, I understand that Stefon Diggs was a massive problem in the Buffalo Bills locker room. There is absolutely zero question there. However, I do want to give the guy credit because I do sincerely believe that he was a large reason why Josh Allen was able to develop. Because after the first 2 years of the Josh Allen experiment, I think a lot of us were starting to feel a bit uneasy. We saw that movie before. Yes, we made it to the playoffs the second year, but we really needed a quality vet to come in and to be his number one target. And rest be assured, I will continue to say this. I think that we could thank Stefon Diggs for the development of Josh Allen. Obviously, now Josh does not need him. I think 2024 was a perfect example, sort of supporting my take here. However, I think there's a couple of things that New England Patriots fans should be worried about when it comes into this former wide receiver. Number one, he is 32 years old, right? And he is coming off of an ACL tear. Now, I know that if you scroll on the internet, right, we're going to go ahead, we're going to scroll up, and we're going to see videos like this of him working out during the offseason. Make no mistake, guys. All right. At bare minimum, Stefon Diggs will be able to play at week 5. And that is even being pretty aggressive. Coming off of an ACL tear at his age, let's go on ahead and just look at some significant injuries to players that are getting up there with father time, right? So I think Von Miller is probably a keen example when it comes into this. He came back about week 5, week 6 after his overall ACL tear, and he never looked the same, right? Like a recovery process of him getting back to his 100% self is likely going to take more than just 1 year. So for all Patriots fans, I'm starting to see on the internet start to get excited about it. While I think that he would automatically be wide receiver number 1 for you guys, first off, be very, very patient. And then number 2, don't expect him to be the same Stefon Diggs that he was over in Buffalo or the same Stefon Diggs that was over in Houston prior to his said injury. Now, I did find it ironic because wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago where we ultimately ended up seeing that Vrabel and the Patriots said that they had no interest in potentially bringing in a veteran wide receiver that was going to be demanding the football. And then all but a day later, they now officially host Steph Diggs for a free agent visit. Now, do I think that his overall ego is going to take over at his age? No, I think that he's probably going to step back right now. I do think he is bag chasing at this point because there's no way that he could so imagine that this New England Patriots team is going to be sniffing a Super Bowl at any given instance. But I don't know. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. As many of you guys know, I am actually very high on the Patriots this year. I think that they are going to be a second place finisher. And depending on how the rest of the AFC performs, I could see them sneaking into the playoffs with the 7th seed. But who knows? I mean, maybe Stefon Diggs will indeed be a part of that organization. I'm still going to strongly encourage that New England targets a wide receiver early in the draft so to continue to add to the wide receiver room. But rest be assured, Stefon Diggs has officially met with the New England Patriots. Now, folks, right before I get into the live chat, I need to give a giant shout out to William Attar. William Attar is the #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. All right. If you were ever hurt in a car, you better call William Attar. William, thank you so much for sponsoring this YouTube channel for the season. All right, folks. I can only imagine a lot of you guys are watching the replay of this episode. I strongly encourage that if you are doing that, when you subscribe, make sure you turn on bell notifications so you can be a part of my live chat community. I always like being able to engage with my live audience and hear their thoughts on the topic of the day and or related topics of said day. And in fact, you know what? If there is anybody that is new in the chat, please do me a favor and introduce yourself. We have a great live chat community over here. Corey, what up, dude? What does Thigh Doctor have to say on this clip? Listen, man, let me tell you something about Thigh Doc, all right? He's the man. He's been trying to get me to do the thigh dance for a long time. So I met him in person at the Jets-Bills event last year, and he tried to get me to do the thigh dance. I'm still perfecting it. Thigh Doc, I promise you. I haven't seen. I am more than happy to send it over to him, though, because I would be curious. I just don't see Diggs really being able to play until, and this is even super aggressive, week 5, week 6, right? Like, he's 32. He's coming off of an ACL. It's going to be pretty interesting. Let's go, Patriots. We are about to win the AFC with Stefon Diggs. So, Nathaniel, listen, man, I am actually really high on your team this year. I do think that you guys are going to get a playoff spot this year. Definitely not an AFC East championship, but I do see you guys significantly improving. I wouldn't rest everything on Stefon Diggs, right? Like, I would still be targeting a Tet McMillan, right at some point. I would still be targeting a Matthew Golden. I would still be targeting is like an Isaiah Bond / a Jaden Higgins or something like that. Like, don't rest your overall laurels on Stefon Diggs. Because first off, like I said, you're not going to see him until week 6, week 7. I would still encourage you guys try and target one of those top end young wide receivers. Bills won't stand a chance against my Patriots this upcoming year. All right, listen, man, I'm trying to give you some props here. Okay. I have a lot of faith in the New England Patriots this year. I think that they are going to be the second best team in the AFC East. I do think they make the playoffs. But come on, man. Listen, there are levels to this. I am not quite saying that the Patriots are going to be competing with the Buffalo Bills for the division, but I do see a significant improvement. And one thing I can tell you is that you are, bar none, way better than the New York Jets / the Miami Dolphins in 2024. I think that we can all agree there. Paul, Iron Mike should offer a small bag. Me, I'd probably do like a 1-year, $8 million type situation, a 2-year, $15 million, and make a lot of it incentives. Make a lot of it incentives at this point, because that's quite a bit of money to pay a guy that's 32 years old, that's coming off of an ACL injury, that has a history of being a problem in the locker room for 2 different NFL organizations. I'm sure he probably would have stirred up some shit while he was at Houston as well. But as we know, he ended up getting hurt. Patriots are still needing help and will be garbage this year, but better than the Jets and better than the Dolphins as well. Laugh now, Bills fans. My Patriots dynasty will be back soon. All right, yeah, but not in 2024. That's for damn sure. I don't believe Diggs is a diva, to be honest, just because we've seen him passionate on the sideline while we were getting belted by the Bengals and we didn't throw the ball to him for 7 weeks straight. So here's the deal, right? None of us know exactly what happened, how much of an impact he was on the locker room. But one thing that I think is a smoking gun is the fact that we ended up trading Stefon Diggs and eating an absurd amount of dead cap. Absurd. It was borderline financial irresponsibility. If you were to ever see a team do this, then you know that they metaphorically had a gun held to their head. Like, Bean, in my opinion, is very good with the cap, right? Like, he's very good at structuring contracts. He's very good at like riding with a specific player because the dead cap hit would be way too much. But when you look at all the money that Buffalo took on to not have Stefon Diggs on the roster last year in 2024, it had to be bad. It had to be much more than him being on the sideline for the Bengals game. It had to be. Like, you don't take that sort of financial hit unless, as I've said, you have a metaphorical gun held to your head. But, I mean, I don't know. That's me. Diggs is always an angel in year one. Wasn't any trouble in Texas. I'd give him a 1-year contract if I was a team in need of a wide receiver. I mean, honestly, man, like, you look at this whole situation, he still has yet to sign. I'm trying to look at some other potential landing spots, but I don't know. So one thing I will say is I really think that the New England Patriots will walk away with one of these three guys. Stefon Diggs, we have Amari Cooper, and Keenan Allen. They will walk away with one of those three. Against Backuppa? Come on, man. He is a locker killer. We have Prison Mike coming on in. Folks, do me a favor. Smash that like button as you are coming in. Easiest way to show a little bit of love. You need a panel on your level for the group podcast, bro. I am just saying, well, Chris Haynes, listen, I know that you have already checked out Fourth and Forever, right? Don't be exposing yourself telling me you haven't checked out Fourth and Forever, man. Listen, I am on several panels. I'm on the AFC's Roundtable. I'm on Fourth and Forever, where I talk ball on a regular basis. But when it comes into Bills stuff and when it comes into regular NFL stuff, my panel is you guys, bro. My panel is everybody in the chat. That is exactly how I like to structure my independent YouTube channel. But as far as me interacting with other creators, you can always go check out Fourth and Forever on the Roundtable Sports Network and or the AFC East Roundtable. That is where you can get all my solid interactions. Drake May is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Nathaniel, shouldn't you be paying attention in math class right now, man? Long division's very difficult, Nathaniel. All right, so go on ahead. Focus on school. And then once the bus drops you off in front of your house, revisit the video. It will be a replay. Dan, and do you think this year we could finally get a new jersey or a helmet? I need that in my life. William, so here's the deal. I genuinely don't believe that we're going to get any sort of like uniform altercation and or an alternate jersey until we get our new stadium. So as we know, like, this is the final year in the Ralph. And in 2026, we end up getting our brand new, beautiful stadium, which, my God, I'm going to be ready for it. You have no idea. But I feel like that makes sense, that we have one more year of just regular stuff, and we'll go from there. What's good? Check out Desmond Watson from Florida. He's very slept on defensive tackle. Let's go, Buffalo. I really believe we need defensive tackle. And a wide receiver. Oh, man, we need defensive tackle. We need CB2. We need safety. We need wide receiver. A couple of holes that need to be fulfilled. That is for sure. Pause. And the Patriots still have a terrible offensive line. They do. They do. They do indeed. Pats are coming for us. Real king. I'm not even entirely convinced that's a Bills fan. I'm sorry. But if you really think that he's not a diva, then I honestly don't know what to tell you. He's 100% a diva and a problem, and every team in the NFL suffers bad losses, including Kansas City. You don't pull that. Look, I'm a sore loser myself, but I hide it deep within. Rosie, what's up, Rosie? If he signs with the Patriots, does he take down his Bills Instagram posts? Probably. Like, someone was saying that when he put up his Bills Instagram posts, that his Instagram was deactivated for a little bit, and then he reactivated it, and maybe some of the posts that came back on was an automatic thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't, bro. Tell me about it. Fourth and Forever, I will sub. All right, dude. So Roundtable Sports, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So you're familiar with AFC East Roundtable. It's me, Richie, of course, TD Finstock, and Colby. where we have a Wednesday evening show where we just debate everything AFC East. Fourth and Forever is an NFL news show. It's at 2 p.m. EST, and it's on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Highly recommend you check it out. We are live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST, where we cover all of the trending topics across the league. I think you'll enjoy it. Trust me, man. You really, really will. That and Chris, I'm sure you probably tuned in right to the AFC East Roundtable as well, have you? Because that is an instant classic. That is an instant classic. I can tell you that one. Diggs will go to whichever team pays him the most. And wherever he goes, he won't even be able to contribute till midseason. And who the hell knows how he'll look fresh off a serious knee tear and surgery. Specifically at 32 years old as well. What's good, Dan? And did you ever check out Desmond Watson from Florida? He's a defensive tackle. I haven't had an opportunity of doing so, man. But I'll tell you what. Yesterday, I did a episode on all the corners that I found interesting in the upcoming NFL draft. And next one is going to be defensive tackle. So I might be doing a pre-recorded video on it, or I might be doing like a live stream, like based off of all of the guys that have really stood out to me. But I will certainly include him in the video. I will check him out. Thank you so much. Sean, what up, dude? Hope all is well. Bill is coming in and saying, Dano, let's see Diggs on the Patriots side so we can boo him and treat him the way us Bills Mafia do. Bring it on. What's your take on us bringing him into our house again? Bill, thank you so much for the question, man. Thank you so much for the question. So I'll be honest with you, I'm good. So I really, really am. Like what it was that we identified the problem, right? Like with our offense, and we removed him, and then we ultimately ended up becoming the best offense in franchise history, statistically, right? And then there's so many terrible signs that like we took on all that dead cap just to keep him off of the roster. It's not even so much about my thoughts. I'm just really trying to wrap my head around and put myself in the shoes of Brandon Beane. Would he even entertain this in the slightest? And I don't believe that we would. So granted, so wide receiver is still in need, right? Because when you look at our roster, we really only have 4 players that are capable of starting. I am not counting Laviska Shenault as much as I would love to, because in 2019, when he was on the draft board, my God, I wanted him to be a Buffalo Bill. But I think Laviska was brought in due to his kick return and punt return sort of capabilities. He's one of the best kick returners in the NFL. It's true. He's very, very good at it. Wide receiver, not so much. Maybe he shocks the world and maybe he can become a contributor. Like maybe he pulls a Mac Hollins in 2025, right? Like maybe he becomes a Mac Hollins in 2025, right? But still, so I would like to say that we only have Keon Coleman, we have Khalil Shakir, we have Curtis Samuel, and Joshua Palmer. So those are 4 contributors on that side. We'll probably end up keeping Laviska Shenault as a wide receiver, but realistically, all he's going to be doing is returning kicks unless there's an absolute emergency. So drafts, give me like an Isaiah Bond, a Jalen Royals, give me a Matthew Golden if somehow he falls to us. Maybe a Luther Burden or something like that. Like I would be fine with any of those potential solutions. Stefon Diggs is very low on my list. Let's put it that way. Dirty Jersey. Steph's Insta seems like a huge nothing burger. His picks from Minnesota are up there too. Who cares? He's cooked. He's cooked, man. He's cooked. Someone's preheating the damn oven. I thought he was visiting. How does that mean he will be signed? He's visiting, so it sounds like that there's mutual interest on both sides. We will see if he ends up signing. Joker, would Diggs be a help or a hindrance for a young quarterback like May? So I got to tell you about this, right? Because I do acknowledge that he was a locker room problem for this team toward the back end of the saga. But for the first couple of years, I think that he was absolutely integral to what Josh Allen is today. Like Josh Allen does not need a wide receiver one now, like does not need a star vet like on his side to succeed, obviously, right? Like soon as when Stefon Diggs was off of this roster, he won MVP. I think that he's like done that. But I credit Stefon Diggs for allowing Josh Allen to take that next step and become the quarterback that he is today. So I think he could probably provide the exact same thing to Drake May. He is a bit older, but route running doesn't disappear, right? Like crafty route runners tend to have longer careers than just like a speed guy or like a power guy, etc. For example, we could think about Larry Fitzgerald, right? Like dude played forever. So I still think that he has that to bring to the table, right? His average separation, like once you get down to like advanced analytics, like you'll notice like some regression as far as his win rate, but still pretty good. Chris Haynes. Yeah, but they were so late last night and I didn't see you, so I jumped off. Chris, you're right, man. My doggo is sick, dude. My doggo was sick. I had to take him to the vet. He shit all over my office last night. I was very upset, but he's sick. I can't take it out of the little man. But rest be assured. So I woke up this morning at 4:45 and 4:45. So to go to the gym, and then I walk into my office because this is also where a lot of my clothes are, and I just smelled, oh my god, a absolute whiff of death. And lo and behold, I saw several mounds all over the place. I'm sorry for putting that image into your mind, but we will see. What position will the Patriots draft? So I'll tell you what. Say that I'm the New England Patriots. I am probably going for an offensive lineman that early. I wouldn't go Travis Hunter, although that I heard that the Patriots are very interested in Travis Hunter, and that's likely where they will go. But say that it was up to me. Say that I was the GM. I am going for Will Campbell, left tackle out of LSU. Or Membu as well. He's the right tackle out of Missouri. I would build up that offensive line as much as humanly possible. Hey, Dan, how you feeling about March Madness? I went to Xavier, so last night was a good one. Riding high today. Go Bills. Jared. Listen, man, March Madness is always a very, very exciting time. So my dad went to Georgia. So I have a little piece right in my heart where I root for the Georgia Bulldogs. So I doubt that they will win at all, but I'm still very, very excited as well. I have some family that have ties to Michigan as well, which I'm pretty interested in, but we'll see. Laviska Shenault is a bum. He's a bum. Holy shit. Anyway, last time I checked, we don't need an old wide receiver coming off of an ACL. That's a skill set that the Bills are missing, and we don't need. Yes, we are missing an old guy who's coming off of an ACL injury. That is for sure. We have Keaton Talk Sports. Hey, Dan, is there anything on Rodgers? Vikings are going with McCarthy at quarterback. I say he signs with the Giants if desperate or retires, which is likely. So I'll tell you what. Both possibilities for Aaron Rodgers are the Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think both of them are intriguing because they both have lackluster offensive lines, although that I would probably give the nod to Pittsburgh for having a slightly better sort of offensive line by itself. Don't count the Vikings out yet because, like, as they used and carefully crafted their semantics by saying, we are not interested in bringing in Aaron Rodgers at this time. I've seen this movie before, right? Where, like, they said, oh, not at this time, but then, surprise, surprise, we see a contract for Aaron in June or something. I think Aaron is waiting on that, hence why he hasn't made a decision. I have a gut feeling that he doesn't want to go out the way that he did, right? Because there's no question that he certainly has an ego about him, right? He's super competitive, and I don't think that he wants to go out of the league capped up with how he performed with the New York Jets last year. So I think he'll sign with the Steelers. That's my guess. So Giants really don't make sense, like not unless like they pay him an absurd amount of money, but I don't know. I could see them doing that. They still need help at left tackle and or wide receiver. Yo, homie. And so I'm with you on the cutting out and drinking and smoking cigarettes. Let's go. I would take Allen if he's still out there and get a late round pick. Need that defense. Steve Mills. Dude, Steve? So did I inspire you to do this, Steve, or was this just a coincidence and you and I are on this exact same path Yeah, man, most definitely. I have not had a drink since December 15th, I think. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. And I'm trying to go a full year. It's crazy. I wish I could say that I put down nicotine. I did not. I'm still ripping some lower deckies of some Zinnichinos. But yeah. Yeah, that is about it, man. Steph is trying hard to prove people wrong in his recovery and ahead of schedule. I see that being a detriment to him and re-injury likely because he is rushing back. It's that or he's not going to be anywhere close to where he was. And do we think Diggs' attitude would be good for a coach like Vrabel? So I feel like Stefon Diggs right now is not even really looking for a team that gives him the best opportunity to win a ring, right? Because, I mean, otherwise, he's 32 years old. And while the Patriots offseason has been promising, I don't see them being Super Bowl contenders for at least another 2 to 3 years. And by that point, right, like we would see Stefon Diggs like being 35 years old and more than likely retired from the league. So I think he's just trying to go to a team that can give him a little bit of cash, right? And then maybe he can go out with still being a super productive wide receiver and end his career on a high note. I think his attitude days are over, if you ask me. I agree that there is no way Bills take that cap hit is without something being a problem. Bills did help Diggs get a big head. Senke is saying we need a speed demon in the draft at wide receiver. There are options, my friend. John, Dan, in my opinion, all the analysts hate Aaron Rodgers. They do. They do, man. Each and every single one of them do. And you know what? Like, I'm not going to say that Aaron Rodgers is washed, folks, because like he threw the exact same amount of touchdown passes as Josh Allen last year, right? So it was a hell of a lot more of an organization issue than a quarterback issue. That's sort of my thought process. Like Rodgers really started turning it on toward the back half of the season. I still think he could play. And say that he was on the Minnesota Vikings, I think that like would be their best option. So to be completely honest with you, I'm glad that they're giving JJ McCarthy a chance this year. But when you have a team like that, and if you really want to win a Lombardi, like that is your number one priority of the year 2025, and not to develop a QB, because honestly, like when it comes into JJ, like dude's a redshirt rookie. So like we have no idea what JJ is going to look like next year. I don't think that they're going to ask him to do a lot because first off, like look at that defense. They're going to give him several opportunities in favorable field position. Look at all their weapons that they have as well. Like, you know, that Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are absolute yak machines and can create separation better than just about anybody. I don't know. So do you think that Mike has the ability to bring the Patriots to the Super Bowl? He's a hell of a lot better of a coach than Gerard Mayo. So in my opinion, he did very well over in Tennessee. I feel like the Pats got the best head coach out of this entire cycle. And yes, I have Vrabel above the Ben Johnson hire in Chicago. In case someone's like, what about Ben Johnson? I actually think that Vrabel was the best head coach in the market. Is Diggs even going to be back in time for the beginning of the season? Didn't he tear his ACL early mid-season? I think it was like week 8. Yeah, dude. Like absolute earliest, like that he actually takes a snap for me is week 5, week 4, maybe. And that's him being irresponsible in his recovery. Like that's him being irresponsible right in his recovery. And even if he does come back that early, he's not about to be back to full speed. Because really when it comes down into it, folks, like when you have a player that has a year-long injury for sort of a recovery period, soon as when he's activated on the roster, like just put into your head that they essentially need to have a training camp period so that they can slowly ramp up. So he wouldn't even be able to be like a full speed contributor like the Stefon Diggs that we know, or at least the version week 9, week 10, maybe week 11. And that's even cutting it close. Like some people take about a year and a half for them to be able to like cut the way that they used to. I'm definitely a fan of Fourth and Forever. I suggest if you're not subscribed to it, definitely need to sub and make sure you turn on the notifications too so you don't miss a live podcast. Dwayne, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, for sure. Roundtable Sports. As you know, we have an AFC East roundtable. We have an NFC West roundtable, AFC North. We have every single division roundtable on the face of the planet. And let me give you an idea of what we're looking for. Share this tab as well. Have Roundtable Sports right here, folks, as you can see. And then here's an episode of Fourth and Forever. It's live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. Here is the YouTube channel. So close to 20,000 subscribers, too, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, dude, it's man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of your favorite midday football show on the damn internet, and that is Roundtable Sports Fourth and Forever. I mean, as you guys can see, we have some really cool graphics that go. We cover several different topics, everything along those lines. Like, y'all will absolutely love this show. I can promise you that. I will see you guys at 2 p.m. EST. Smitty, what's going on? Speaking of Roundtable Sports, best intern in the world. Smitty, what's going on, man? Good morning, Dan. My take on Diggs to the Pats is that this would be good for every AFC East team that isn't the Pats. Let Diggs create a toxic culture and ruin their young quarterback. I mean, listen, it's always a possibility. And like I said, I am putting a buyer beware tag on this potential transaction. I personally think that they would be fine with just focusing on the NFL draft for a wide receiver. And do you believe that J.J. McCarthy and Harbaugh can reunite with a Herbert to the Vikings trade? I don't think so. So I think that when it all comes down to it, I think that Harbaugh probably wants to see if JJ can actually like hash it out in the NFL. Hopefully he does. And so I've always liked JJ McCarthy. So hopefully he can make it happen. Hunter Henry tore ACL a few years ago with the Chargers. He made it back for the playoffs in the same season. How old was he though? Right? Like, dude had to be like 23, 24 years old. Like, once you start getting up in the 30s, man, like your body just don't like work the same way that it used to. And that's coming from a dude that's 33 years old. There is no way in hell someone's tearing their ACL and returning the same season. I'm going to have to fact check that one. Smitty, yes, sir. I'm doing great. Dad's 50th birthday today, so it's going to be a fun night of celebrating. 50. Damn, man. I like that. Bro. 50. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Well, listen, man. Shout out to Mr. Smitty. For his 50th birthday, man. Y'all have a good time. My friend. I feel like people wanting Rodgers as a starter, QB is questionable. Now let them be a backup quarterback for a newbie quarterback from the draft to train, nurture, and we will be better for the team. I feel like people wanting Rodgers as a starter, QB is questionable. Now let him be a backup. Yeah, for sure. But that, of course, is as if he wants to be. Like, dude wants to be a backup. That's not true. Whoever said that made it up. Spin. I think Adrian Peterson had the fastest turnaround on an ACL tear. All right. Let's go to Google. Fastest ACL tear recovery time. NFL. Let's see. All right. So while the typical ACL recovery time for NFL players is around 8 to 12 months, some have returned to play in as little as 8 months, with Adrian Peterson's recovery being the notable example. That's where we're at. So this is the fastest time. Okay. Phillip Rivers once even made it back in 4 months after tearing his ACL in the playoffs and returning for the start of spring practice. Okay. But did he start in a regular season game? How long does it typically take? Return to play performance after an anterior. Okay. All right. Yeah. So fastest back to playing time was Adrian Peterson. Spin did get it right. Nobody is Ants AR. Matthew C is coming in saying, I feel like the hate for Diggs is kind of overblown to some degree. Um, so I wouldn't say I hate him, right? But I also think it's a bit silly. So when people are like, oh, yeah, let's bring him back, like, for what? Right? So, like, you don't take on a dead cap hit like we did last year. So we virtually paid that man to play for the Buff. All right, listen, we basically paid that man to play for a different team last year. Like, things were not sunshine and rainbows, like right within the locker room. And granted, we have no idea what happened, but follow the money. Dan, I think Solomon is taking a step this year, could solve a lot of issues with the pass rush concerns. And that's always something I always try to like put into consideration is that this Buffalo Bills team has proven time and time again that year 2 and year 3 jumps from players that we spent time developing in year 1 almost always happens. And Solomon, make no mistake, he was my late round draft crush. I wanted the Bills to walk away with this guy. He led all of college football 2 years ago in sacks. Granted, he went to Troy, but 17 and a half sacks is absolutely insane. Watch Solomon go off. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And do you think we address Taron Johnson like Milano? He stays injured? No, because he's a bit younger. Spin. Oh my God. Oh my God. Diggs can only come back as depth at league minimum. Load it with incentives and let him know he is wide receiver number 4. Dan, I don't really see a need at defensive tackle this year. Certainly next year, I could see us getting one, but the biggest need in the draft, in my opinion, is corner, receiver, edge, and safety. And so I appreciate that take. And so I think it's definitely debatable, right? For me, I do think that a defensive tackle is pretty important because you look at Daquan Jones, you look at Larry Ogunjobi, both of them, their contracts expire next year. And Larry Ogunjobi, he's not going to be able to play for about 6 weeks. So I think it would be smart for us to go on ahead and invest in the one tech position this year. So that way we have that player with 1 full year of NFL experience starting in 2026, ready to hit the ground running. And by all means, if this dude could go out there and beat out Daquan Jones for snap share, beat out Larry Ogunjobi for snap share, I'm fine with that. But again, right? I like a lot of players in this defensive tackle class that could be selected in the first, second, and sometimes even the 3rd round. Dude. Pollen's been kicking my ass. Has Pollen been kicking anybody else's ass, bro? I'm getting absolutely fried out here in the world. Matthew C. Solomon has a Von Miller-like comp and trained with him last year. Dude, I'm still so high on Solomon. Was one of my personal favorites. A defensive tackle is highly needed for one, most quarterbacks are affected by pressure down the middle. Matthew, Ed Oliver just isn't getting it done by himself. And you add another quality defensive tackle next to him, and then you got an issue for other teams. And again, I still like Ed Oliver. And I still think that Ed Oliver is a quality starter for this team. But he's a 3 technique, right? Like he's a 3 technique. He is not the kind of guy that's going to elevate a defensive line. He's the kind of guy that gets elevated. But when he is elevated, it's insane. Like when he is unlocked, he's a very good player. But he needs that player to unlock him, essentially. Big Papa Bill, good morning, Dan. Why don't we pick up Travon Walker? He's had back-to-back seasons with 10-plus sack seasons. Big Papa Bill. I'll tell you what, it sounds that the Jaguars are potentially shopping him around, right? I feel like we already signed Nick Bosa. Well, not Nick Bosa, excuse me. Joey Bosa. That would have been a world, right? Still have Gregory Rousseau. So we still have Gregory Rousseau, who was just paid a lot of money. Still have AJ Epinesa. We still have Javon Solomon. I'm not particularly sure that we would spend that kind of money or spend that kind of draft capital on that player. I think that we'd probably turn to the draft with something like that. A pollen, you and here in California, a pollen takeover. Dude, I'm getting destroyed by it, man. So my truck is caked, right? And so oh my God, listen, man, like I bought a truck like 2 or 3 months ago. I love it. It's my prized possession. Oh, dude, I love it. It's black, but like it's literally yellow. Dude, it's literally yellow. It's literally yellow, man. It's bad. It's destroying me. They might draft another safety late rounds, but I don't see them addressing it early in the draft now, just my opinion. It just depends on how the board falls, right? Like, say, for example, all of like the high end defensive tackles are gone, or say, for example, all like so the high end corners are gone with like first round grades. And if Emin Wari is there, / Malachi Starks is there, I'd be okay. But say that it's not one of those two names, then I agree I would pass. One tech is the biggest need for our defense. Maybe CB2 has a case, but we need a legit one tech. However, you can get it later in the draft, just not the biggest need in round one. Yeah, like it's funny, right? Because like you look at a lot of defenses that from a personnel standpoint, it's not that impressive, right? It's just not that impressive. Like you see some no-name corners, some questionable safeties here and there, but for some reason that defense is just shut down. And it always points back into who is up front in the trenches. A good defense always starts with the defensive line and pressure, and the secondary needs to be your insurance policy, right? A good pass rush makes average DBs look elite. It's a domino effect. I am allergic to pollen. Start itching like crazy. Dude, it's tough. Bills are done in free agency, and they don't have much cap space right now. Yeah, we have like 7 million, I think. 7 million. And 5 million of that needs to be associated with the cap. And did you hear Keon say that if he was GM, he'd go after wide receiver, safety, cornerback, D-line? Well, I love Keon, but thank God. All right. I love Keon. He makes me laugh. I saw him beefing with Ocho Cinco like earlier. So need a legit one tech to shut down run and make teams one-dimensional against us. That will let all the playmakers on our defense be in the best positions to make plays. Sarah, do we get money back for Ogunjobi or no? No, it was fully guaranteed, $8 million. $300,000 maybe we can get back, but but is what it is. We need a one to hold up versus double team Kenneth Grant. I'm a big Kenneth Grant guy, as you know. Massive Kenneth Grant guy, as you know. Shout out to 4Kids Party Rental for the $2 donation to the channel, man. I appreciate that. And then also shout out to Sarah for a $10 donation. Sarah, thank you so much. I sincerely hope that you're enjoying your afternoon. Excuse me, your morning. Damn, man. Listen, hanging out with my friends on a Thursday morning is always the best when we're sitting here just talking ball, a variety of different topics across the NFL. Guys, what Sarah and 4Kids Party Rental just did was a super chat. That is them supporting me financially. Great way to go above and beyond. But the easiest way to support me is quite simply just by hitting that thumbs up sign. That's all I ask for. That, and also, if, for example, you know any other NFL fans / Bills fans that like talking football in the morning, certainly do me a favor and just let them know about the show and have them join right into the live chat and have a good conversation with us, man. We're trying to grow this to the damn moon. I am trying to get to 40,000 subscribers before the start of the NFL season. I think that we can do that. I feel like we can do it, man. And so y'all are absolutely insane. Keon, like Bills, needs to draft a wide receiver to replace me. Thoughts on Deion Walker out of Kentucky, 6'7" defensive tackle. So, all right, listen, I would be happy if we got Deion Walker, but only if it was a double dip situation and Deion Walker was the second defensive tackle we took off of the board. That would be the only way. Say that he was the first guy we went after, then I'd be, like his size is there, right? But I did see him over at the Senior Bowl. He's kind of slow. Especially say that he's going up against like some very athletic offensive linemen. Um, his feet are slow, like especially during run drills and stuff like that, like 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s and stuff like that. Well, not 7-on-7s, but so 11-on-11s. So like when we saw that and like some of the running back drills, he wasn't really effective in stopping the run, largely because he's not very fast. So he'd probably need to get some serious development. And I don't think that he would be a day one contributor. He'd probably need to lose a little bit of weight too, so that like he could fix it. But like his run stopping capabilities, like right outside of the running back, running literally right into him, were not that impressive. I want the Bills to draft a difference maker on defense. If that guy is a defensive tackle, then do it. But I don't want to draft a defensive tackle that is going to sit on the bench or get 35% of the snaps. Look at that. Oh, wow. Wow. All my love and hugs to Bills fans around the world, the best in the NFL. Let's go, Buffalo. Great show. Thanks, Dan. Keep up the great shows and smack Bob for me. As always, Leo from Israel. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. Oh, man. Y'all love a good Bob smack, don't you, man? Y'all love a good Bob smack, don't you? We need CB2, Sarah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Go Bills. Soul Train. Absolutely, man. Hope all is well. And one that could definitely contribute right away. Yeah. So I would like him as a developmental piece. Like really us just going back to Deion Walker. Yes, but I would only be happy with Deion Walker if, for example, he was a double dip and he was the second defensive tackle we took off of the board. And the first one was either Derek Harmon / Kenneth Grant / Tyleek Williams. I'd even take Jordan Phillips out of Maryland over him too. Same thing with Darius Alexander. If, for example, one of those names were taken as the first defensive tackle and then we waited for Deion Walker in like the 4th or the 5th, then yeah, I'm cool. Let me see if there's any other breaking news. And the Bengals have taken a victory lap after bowing to pressure from Joe Burrow and paying Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Time will tell whether this is an aberration or the start of a new trend. Dude, man, it's so I got to get off. My God. So I have to get this off my chest. I have to get this off my chest. I'm seeing Bengals fans, right? Like run victory laps, being like, ha ha, we told you we could afford both of them. Like, bro, like we knew that you could afford them, but that's the exact same way of like us going up to our broke friend and us telling him, bro, there's no way that you could afford that brand new 2025 King Ranch F-150. Like you just can't do it, right? You can't. And we know in the back of our minds that, yeah, his dumb ass can go out there and swipe a credit card and screw all of his other day-to-day expenses. And he does that, and he comes back and he starts flexing, being like, oh, see, dude, told you, man. Told you I got that $80,000 truck when you said I could never do it. And they completely missed the point where we're saying, dude, we knew that you could make a financial irresponsible decision. We said you couldn't do it because you shouldn't do it. And I look at the Cincinnati Bengals situation right now, and with how much cap is tied to a quarterback and both of their wide receivers, how much are they paying their defense this year? $15 an hour? Like $15 an hour, dude? Listen, everyone's like, oh, well, what the hell could they have done in free agency? Okay, so you could have went on ahead and walked away from T. Higgins, okay? Maybe traded him. I have no idea why that they franchise tagged him in the first place, because they would have screwed themselves anyway, right? But they could have saved the money that they would have given T. Higgins, and they could have went out there and they could have signed a Charvarius Ward, right? Like they could have signed some interior defensive line help. Like they could have signed a Julian Blackmon. Like they could have sign 2 to 3 crazy athletic defensive playmakers with how much money they associated with T. Higgins. And I also think that it is a giant slight to Joe Burrow. All right, listen, what do like most of the haters say about Joe Burrow, right? Like, what do most of the haters say about him? What they say about him is that we don't know how good he truly is because we have never seen him without an elite wide receiver room. Like, we have seen Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and even Lamar Jackson go out there and dominate and show the world that, hey, I'm the dude that elevates my offense. And they're trying to sit there and disrespect Joe Burrow like he can't make this offense in Cincinnati effective without two of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So it doesn't make sense to me that all of them are like running victory laps about this. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, like, great. Like, y'all are going to go on ahead and score about 32, 33 points per game. Fantastic. Guess what? All 8 of your losses last year was when you scored 28 points. Did you know that out of any single game in the NFL last year, any team that scored 28 points or more, the record was 140 and 22. 8 of those 22 losses were the Cincinnati Bengals. So what does that tell you? Defense is the issue. And some of them would be like, oh my God, Dan, but the draft, bro. They haven't hit on a single draft pick. I'm not even talking about collective draft class. I'm talking about a single draft pick in the past 3 years. Are you really trusting that you're going to go out there and find, 3 or 4 defensive difference makers to at least put your average points allowed to about middle of the pack rather than damn well down near the basement? Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. So it's weird to me that people are celebrating this move. It's really weird that they are celebrating this. But I don't know. I honestly feel the criticism of the Bengals for signing both wide receivers is a little much. Whether they sign them both or not doesn't change the fact that the GM still needs the draft to develop. And that's the question, right? Like, can he actually hit on a single pick? Is there a chance that Hendrickson goes up for a trade after wide receivers being signed? Could the Bills be and do the Hoyt situation? Please, God, be and put your chips in the hand. So I think we were interested at first, but now I think we're done with free agency. Because like I said, we have like $6 million left. We have to account $5 million for the incoming draft class. I'm just not necessarily seeing it. They probably tagged him to prevent other teams from sweeping in and offering him even more money because teams can't talk to him once he's tagged unless they use the one used on Lamar. 6 straight division title incoming if Diggs signs to New England. Wow. Chad is saying, does Diggs really want to do that to himself? I mean, at this point, Chad, what are his options, right? And Burrow is starting slow every season doesn't help either. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go. And so I'm watching this every time I get home from the gym, every single study hall. YG, it's my guy, man. That's my guy, dude. Have a fellow gym rat in the chat, bro. He's sipping on his protein shake. In fact, I've been down in a 1,000-calorie protein shake after every gym session in the morning, man. I'm bulking a little bit, boys. And once the stream is over, I'm probably going to down 6 eggs. Yes, my farts have been deadly. Sarah Christine, and what everyone's going to laugh for putting up that comment, take it down. Does it help? Oh, my God. Everyone's going to laugh at that. What do you think and Dwayne Carter's potential is, and do you think he can start rating this defense with Oliver still here? He could definitely be a rotational piece. It's going to be him and Ed Oliver, who are 2 sort of DTs that have a similar situation. I kind of get it. Say that we signed 2 top wide receivers for Josh. I'd be stoked no matter what. I mean, yeah, for sure. But come on, dude. Chad, thank you so much for the super sticker, man. I appreciate that. If we signed one, I would be happy. If only there was a defense in Cincinnati to help with slow starts. 110%. I am on a cut, Dan. It sucks. Oh, it does, man. It does. It does, man. Listen, I was on the carnivore diet for a while, and I cut up crazy. But then I started getting weak in the gym. And so I can't get weak. So I figured it out. Bengals. Wow. The Bengals I called them the Bengals. Excuse me. The Bengals could miss the playoffs for the next 10 years, but it doesn't matter because they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs once, but haven't done anything since. It's crazy. And lost the Super Bowl too. Lost the Super Bowl. Come on. You are a savage. Absolutely, Sarah. Not sure which comment you were referring to, but no, Soul is saying if Josh Allen had Chase and Higgins, he'd go for about 50 touchdowns. Raymond, hello, chat. How are we feeling? We're feeling great. We're feeling great, bro. We're feeling great. Another super chat from my guy, Chad Marks. Go check out his YouTube channel. He's massive. He's at like 200,000 subscribers, I think, at this point. Like maybe more than that. Hold up. It's my guy right over here. Chad over here is a hell of a YouTuber, man. Hell of a YouTuber. I really enjoy all the stuff that he puts out. 241,000 subscribers. Talk to me about that, man. It's some interesting stuff, man. Diving into the prison system in America. It's crazy shit. 240K for Chad Marks, guys. Go check out my boy. Bills fan. Damn, brother. Damn, man. The Bengals. That was a great analogy. Joseph Dion, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Josh Allen. Hey, Dan. You were on. So you were on with Emin Wari. Now you are on Will Johnson. What changed your opinion? So I wouldn't say that I favor either of them, but I think that those two would be home run picks for the Buffalo Bills. Like I have 4 players that are home run picks in the first round. Home runs. One is Will Johnson. One is Emin Wari. One is Matthew Golden. Those right there would be, and then 4 is Kenneth Grant. Those are home run picks for me. I would be thrilled. I promise you that I would be equally as jazzed up if either 4 of those names were on this roster. So that's kind of where I have it at. Will Johnson, but spoiler alert, we would need to trade up for him. It's Matthew Golden likely would have to trade up. Same thing with Emin Wari. Would likely have to trade up for that. Dare I say Siobhan Revel too? I feel like I'm higher on Siobhan Revel than a lot of us are. It's risky because he tore his ACL in September. I don't know, man. Damn. Like that. God, dude. That would be something. Keep pushing, bro. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, brother. Man. It's not over until I win, Chad. That's always been my mentality. It's not over until I win. Always. Soul is saying, even though I'm pro getting Nick, Will Johnson covers a larger need. Yeah. Dude, listen, like with Emin Wari, like in my opinion, has several comps to Kyle Hamilton. Like he's like a Kyle Hamilton type safety. Like he's crazy. Will Johnson would fit into our defense like a glove. He is hands down a solid zone corner that I guarantee you McDermott's looking at, and he's like, if this guy falls, 0 questions asked, he's becoming a Buffalo Bill. Chad with a $10 super sticker. Chad, thank you, bro. Damn, Chad. Dude, Chad's coming up in here, man. Thank you so much, Chad. I appreciate that, man. You have no idea. William. Oh, man. I support you, bro, and what you do. Go Bills. Go Josh. Chad, listen, man. I also highly recommend so you check out my sports network called Roundtable Sports. So we have a show called Fourth and Forever. It is a daily NFL news show. It's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. Hopefully you can tune in there. Solid entertainment. It's me and TD Finns talk, and then also Richie. Maybe you've seen the AFC East Roundtable. It's that divisional debate show we have. It's every single Monday and Wednesday night. So definitely check it out, man. We have a good time over there for sure. Honestly, I just want the Bills to draft based on their scheme rather than an eye candy player that doesn't fit. So I think that that's going to be half of the plan, right? Like, for example, like one specific player that I think a lot of people have been talking about. I was just talking about like this corner prospect last week. Guys, who is the corner that we were looking at yesterday that like we were all super excited about, but we saw like we were like, oh shit, he's probably more of a man corner. So was it Darian Porter? But yeah, I don't see us going and drafting a player that has no experience whatsoever and running a scheme that Buffalo runs. I don't know. Dan, my trade down Bills mock draft, Darius Alexander. I'm loving this. Darian Porter, CB. Braden Swinson, defensive end. Okay. Jalen Royals. First off, you know I'm a Jalen Royals guy. Bro, you know I'm a Jalen Royals guy, so I'm loving this. We have Joshua Farmer, a defensive tackle, who I am completely fine with as well. He has met with the Buffalo Bills. Billy Bowman. Damn, bro. You've been watching my stuff, haven't you? I love that. Safety, Lambert Smith. Excuse me. Wide receiver, Keandre Lambert Smith. Jaden Blue, running back. And Shane Dolak, UB product himself. Dexy, I like that a lot. I'm really curious to see what the Bills are going to do in this draft. You and I both. Guys, we are almost a month away. Almost a month away. Great job teleporting goalposts. Keep up the great work. I'm hoping to do the same eventually. Where's my boy teleporting goalposts at, bro? Where's my boy? There he is. I am munching on some sweet teriyaki beef jerky. Tasty, tasty. I'm trying to cut back on the dairy, bro. But pizza tastes so damn good, dude. So I'll tell you what it is, right? Like me, like I've never stayed away from dairy. Sugar is your number one enemy. Sugar is your number one enemy. That's really all it is. Sugar and bread. Stay away from bread. Just make sure you're intaking close to about 200 grams of protein a day. Like make that about 40% of your macros. And if you do carbs, make sure that it's like jasmine rice. Just make sure it's like starches, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, etc. And also drink a shit ton of water. Black coffee helps curb appetite as well. But the key, shit ton of protein, no sugar, no bread. Yeah. Like my meals, like really, dude, like I wake up in the morning and so I work out on an empty stomach. So I lift for about an hour and a half and I do like a half hour of cardio, like right on an incline walking. I get home and so I make it 1,000-calorie shake with 2 scoops of protein, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and 3/4 of a cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Shake that up, down it, half a cup of oatmeal. That's my first meal. Then I stream, and then afterwards I have 6 eggs and an avocado. 2 or 3 hours later, I have like 2 turkey burgers or like ground turkey and like half a cup of rice or something like that. And then for dinner, it ranges so between like a steak, a shit ton of chicken thighs, ground beef. And normally I don't have any carbs at dinner. And that's always been really, really good for me. That's always been really, really good for me. Reason I like Braden Swinson is because he would be that bendy, not benchy, defensive end we don't really have and would give us another skill set. Sarah is saying if we had a defense that could INT him twice in the playoffs, we'd probably win too, but he just has his way with ours. Sounds like a miserable existence. We are family. Nah, man, it's all right. It's all right. If you are going to eat bread, get a good sourdough, and the fermentation process breaks down the gluten and gives you good lactobacteria. So I'm not even going to lie to you, dude. Like back in the day, so when I served tables back in college, anytime someone said that, oh my God, I'm gluten-free, like I was just like, okay, this motherfucker's bullshitting me. But now that I'm getting older, like since I've cut it out bread, I feel a shit ton better. Like not groggy at all. Like as far as the brain fog is completely done. I don't even know. So now it's a health thing. So easy to eat like that. Oh, dude. No cheese, no bread, and potatoes, lots of water. Damn right. I am a type 2 diabetic. Sugar is a killer. It is, dude. Dude. Screw sugar and then beer too. Like, get it out. So with teleporting, say for example that like you really want to get into like the utmost shape, stop drinking. Like don't drink. Like that's also a key. Just don't. And it's hard, right? But like, just don't. I promise you, just by you not drinking, like you will drop 20 pounds in like 2 months. I promise. Same shit happened to me. Same shit. Just don't drink. Like, that's basically how it works. Dan, he said, good job because I'm down 55 pounds as of this morning. There you go, my friend. Look at that. Well, hey, man, listen, dude, whatever you're doing, knock it out, man. Good job, bro. So I want to trade Kincaid for something ASAP and try to get some value before everyone knows he is a bum. Give him one more year. Dan, and do you eat pizza still? Rarely. So I have a cheat meal. And sometimes I will have a pizza for the cheat meal, like once a week. But it's been a while since I have had it. And I am 21 months sober, rapidly approaching 22. See? You get it. And have to drink the bourbon instead. Hey, listen, man. True. All right. If you do drink, it's better for tequila. So I've actually read that. So tequila is like, it's not healthy, but it's the healthiest thing you can drink if you have to drink. It's still unhealthy, but it's the healthiest liquor you can put in your body. It's due to the agave plant, I guess. Just some tequila and sodas. I posted on Bill's Reddit, Diggs, stay off the Bills, and it got 600 upvotes. Toasting bread cuts the glucose almost 1.5. Interesting. I didn't know that at all. What about White Claws, though? I love a seltzer. Yeah. So, it's better than beer. It's better than beer, I'll tell you that. It's way better than beer. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see what else. And so I am a pescatarian. And so I eat haddock and salmon and plant-based food, fruit and vegetables. I'm 4 years in, lost 70 pounds in the first year. That's fucking insane. Pescatarian, man. My buddy was that for a while. Crazy shit. I like that. California. What up, dude? I haven't drank in 12 years. It's hard on a hot summer day. Dude, listen, man, like there's like a toxic part of me. Like say that I walk outside and it's like 75 degrees and sunny. Like the first thing I think about is like, all right, it's time for me to go get fucking rocked at happy hour. That's the toxic side of me. You know what I mean? But it's, yeah, it's all about discipline. It's all about discipline, man. Something about damn nice weather and blue skies and sunshine just makes me want to go rip some shots down at happy hour and make some dumb decisions. You know what I mean? Dan, grab you some rice cakes? I do. Non-salted rice cakes, some peanut butters on top of those shits? Please. Dude, I love those, man. All right, dude. We have Dawson Knox used to be good, Dan. He suddenly gets paid and his production falls off of a cliff. What do you think happened that he's no longer a threat for the 13-second era? So that's actually a great question. I should actually do a deep dive video on that because I don't have the answers in front of me. My best guess is targets. But let me go on ahead and actually do a deep dive, and I think that's actually a pretty good piece of content. And Dan is right. Stop drinking, eat less, water, tea, juice, and live 3 to 4 times a week, and you'll lose bare minimum 12 to 15 pounds in 2 months. Dude, it's true. It's absolutely true. I just eat like Andrew Tate, and I am jacked. Oh, my God, dude. He's super controversial character, but like you can't deny that he's funny as shit. So what was one of his statements or something like that? Dude, he was just like, you went to sleep broke after a day of insignificant, meager efforts. You laid in bed and fell asleep like a fucking baby. Like, dude, he's funny, man. He's funny. He gets me going. So, like, pot has to kick rocks. Worth it, though. Low key. Dude, if I burn, man, I'm going to be fucking so ripping an entire carton of Oreos, bro. That's me. And so that's why And so I also need to stay away from that because, like, all of my like all of the discipline I have with my diet would go completely out the window. And so I'd run over to Publix right now and just stock up on Pringles and Oreos, and I'd have myself a day. After watching Darian Porter again, I like him more before I had him as my CB7. Now he is my CB5. Dan was watching the AFC East roundtable when Connor was on. Is Richie training him? If we deep fake Richie's face and voice, we would have no idea Connor isn't Richie. Shout out to Connor. He is indeed an up and coming celebrity in the world of sports YouTube, I would say. He's really talented. He's 13 years old. And I'll tell you what, he already knows more ball than TD Fins, dog. Already. He's actually going to be getting his own show soon on our network. So we're excited about that. I got ribeye, beef stock, and some meals prepped in the freezer. I'm ready for the routine. Damn, man. We have Keaton Talks Ball. Dan, and so do you like broccoli and cauliflower? Also mango, pineapple, and mixed fruit all day. As long as you're keeping it balanced, you're good. Yeah, dude, for sure. But like it's tough because like I really don't like mind so having a redundant like meal plan. And so I really don't. So like I can eat the exact same shit for like weeks on weeks on weeks, meal by meal, and not like be affected. Like food is fuel for me, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like I am a foodie, bro. So when I go out to eat, so some people like buying like clothes and shoes and stuff like that. Like me, like I never really like spent a lot of money on clothes or shoes or anything along those lines. But like where I do spend money, bro, is going out to eat, right? So rather than me going out and like so like always having to have like the newest Jordans or something like that, or so the nicest clothes I could possibly find, like I will go to like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and fucking just like go nuts. Grab myself a fucking nice steak. That's it. It's funny because like really what I'm doing is I'm just shitting it out, but I don't know. Yeah, that's me. But yes, I do like broccoli and cauliflower. Big pineapple guy and mixed nuts too. Like big on mixed nuts. And so I'm a big nuts guy. What did you take on Bass? I think we could use a better kicker. It's not top notch of importance, but it should be a backup play. I'm sure we'll bring somebody in and what's it called? Show up for AFC's roundtable. And so I will be giving away a $50. Oh, look at that, Glenn. So by the way, Glenn, we are going to go on ahead and we are still working on your emoji for Fourth and Forever. That's great. I love a good Glenn emoji. But yeah, guys, listen, on the AFC's roundtable, we have a Patreon contribution like aspect where it's a $50 tier, which we know is expensive. So we only have like 4 or 5 people in here, but Glenn's actually been giving away those memberships. So next Wednesday, tune into the AFC East roundtable, which I'm sure you guys probably will. And Glenn is going to be blessing somebody randomly to be a part of that tier as well. So that way you would be able to call in if, for example, you have beef with TD about one of his delusional takes, or you just want to rip apart Richie or Colby or something. It's a great way to make it happen. If we stay at pick 30 and Will Johnson is off of the board and Harmon and Grant are at 30, who are you taking? I'm probably taking Kenneth Grant. I'd be fine with either of them. I'd still be celebrating, but I have a slight preference for Kenneth Grant. And the people that pound fruit forgets it's all sugar. We have Nathan. And the Brussels sprouts are criminally underrated. I love Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels, dude. Damn, I love Brussels. You have no idea. It's my go-to side. Dan, what is your workout routine at the gym? And do you do any cardio? Yeah, man. So I go every day. And first day is chest and triceps. And what I do is I just train to failure. So what I do is I go on ahead and I do as heavy as I possibly can, 4 sets to failure for everything. Following day is back and biceps. Third day is shoulders. And then fourth day is legs. And then after every single lift, which is about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes, I do 30 minutes walking on an incline at 3 miles an hour on a 12 and a half incline for about 30 minutes. So Yeah, that's about it. So lift as heavy as I possibly can, and I train to failure. 4 sets of press, and so I go as many times as I possibly can until I fail, and then it's on to the next one. That's what I do, baby. Dan, and if you get more ripped, you're going to need to stream the tarp off. I mean, hey, guys, like, as you know, I like it. Dan, and this is the cornerbacks I like in order. You have Jahdae Barron, Trey Amos, Siobhan Revel Jr., Maxwell Hairston. You have Darian Porter. You have Benjamin Morrison, you have Azareeh Thomas, and Noel Williams. That was who I was looking at. That was the name that I remembered that wouldn't be a scheme fit for us specifically, and it's Benjamin Morrison. All of his scouting reports are suggesting that he's a man corner. So, but yeah, for sure. I don't see Barron going to us. I think Amos could be in play. Love Siobhan Revel. So I think some of us might be a bit concerned about Siobhan Revel since he's coming off of an ACL tear in September. But so I think his ceiling is there, right? Same thing with Maxwell Hairston. Same thing with Azareeh Thomas. I would love to. Marquis. Dang, got those eggs and Brussels farts, dude. You have no idea. I still have faith in cornerback Daquan Hardy, OJ. And so I personally like, so the incline right before the workout and with everybody's body is different. So you're talking about, oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people do that. So for me, so I don't want to waste any energy, like sort of with my lift. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I typically save cardio for last. But yeah. I mean, everybody's different. Glenn, Glenn, please give me the call tier, Matthew is saying. And that's really cool for the kid. It seems reasonable to know more than TD due to him being absolutely delusional. Absolutely, but still very equally impressive. And people bring up Diggs, dropped catch, but no one ever brings up Bass missed kicks. He has missed some big kicks at times. How are you feeling about Bass? I would love to bring in a new kicker. Surprisingly enough about Tyler Bass, he statistically only struggles in September, right? So he only struggles in September as far as like his miss percentage. Last year, like once October was all said and done, and once he ended up hitting that game winner against Miami, like he was automatic again, right? I don't think that's going to prevent the Bills from bringing in potential competition for him, but I think it would be a far cry for that guy to beat him out. That's my thought on it. Dan, I don't understand if TD's takes and all that shit are an act, or does he actually believe in his BS? Nah, bro. It's just marketing, dude. It's just marketing. You know what I mean? I have seen a fair amount of Notre Dame football, and I can tell you Morrison is okay in zone coverage as well. Okay. That's good to hear. I am a big Maxwell guy, was before the combine. He's fast, solid coverage. He's sticky. And so I prefer and controlling my eccentric over heavier weight. Have Nathan. Yeah, man, most definitely. Like sometimes, like say for example, that I'm at a plateau and like I'm just not like sort of seeing so more gains. Like what I'll do is like I'll drop the weight significantly and I'll do 4 sets of 25. But yeah. So what I'm trying to do is just be like really fucking strong, right? Like really strong. That's kind of my goal. We have Snook is saying we don't need a receiver. We have Palmer, and he reminds me of Eric Moulds. So we only have about 4 receivers on the roster that I think that are capable of starting, and we typically run with 6 receivers at any given year. So I think we need I'd say at least 1 more, right? But listen, I am high on Palmer. Trust me on that one. So remember when we all panicked about a starting linebacker and then Bernard started? What if Hardy at CB is this year's version of that? And dare I say that Solomon is that year's version for the defensive end? Like, what if Javon Solomon is that dude, right? Like, what if Cole Bishop is that dude too? You know what I mean? Right at safety. Dare I say, what if Jamarcus Ingram is that dude? Who knows, man? Who knows? Shout out to everybody rocking me right now. 149 of you in the chat. Sarah is saying Bass recovered last season, including a huge 61-yard game winner in Miami. I mean, dude, like he ultimately ended up having the yips. So in my opinion, and he cured his yips with that game winner at 61, which is pretty insane. Still need a speed wide receiver. I agree. We have Eric with Ingram should have been playing instead of Elam. Glad Diggs is not coming back. Well, it's not official. He's only visiting the New England Patriots. Thought Bro is going to say Jamarcus Russell. I mean, hey, he could come back. But Bernard was on our team. Who's going to do that to a CB? Dexy. Dan. Okay. Have Andres Borregales, a kicker out of Miami, Florida, goes undrafted. We need to bring him in. I just started uploading on my YouTube channel. It's just Madden franchise, but I'm trying to attract young followers, and then I'll talk Bills stuff because I'm a huge Bills fan. Damn, man. Best of luck, bro. Best of luck. So are you going to do a live draft reaction? So I'll tell you what, should I do it? Because here's my thought process. Last year I did it. Was fun, was cool. But like now I'm thinking like, should I just stream after the Buffalo Bills make a pick? Or should I just stream the whole damn thing? Because that's a long stream, you know what I mean? So I was thinking about doing it either for the entirety of the draft, so to figure out exactly who's being taken off of the board. And I was thinking about doing it just after the Buffalo Bills end up picking somebody. I don't know. Just the first round. Don't forget that Bass also missed the league's shortest kick of the season against the Lions. Yes, he did. I'd stream when the Bills come up. Just first round. You have Jersey saying that. Hardy and Ingram are both currently on the team. William, what round? And do you think Dante Thornton and Evan Stewart will go? 4th, 5th, I think. Stream first 2 rounds for everyone, then just Buffalo after round 2. Probably smart. Just Bills picks, in my opinion. Yeah, right? What about the AFC East Roundtable collaboration stream for the draft? We did it last year. I think it was on Bleacher Report. So we did it on Bleacher Report. I do remember that. I don't know. We have Deshaun Santiago. What's the deal with the Bills never having a practice squad guy becoming a starter like a Shavers? It sounds like that, like we just like have a solid 53, you know what I mean? But all right, guys, I need to go take my dog for a walk, and then I need to do some other things. But I do appreciate each and every single one of you. We have Senke coming in asking for a mock draft. I'll tell you what. I could do a mock draft sometime after 4th and forever. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Smash that like button on your way out. Subscribe. If you are watching the replay of this episode, please do me a favor and turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a live episode. Love having you guys come in here. And we will see you soon. Peace.